We've been reporting since Sunday that large areas of Arizona, one county alone is larger than the state of Connecticut, are now off limits to the American people. This is areas far north of even Tucson. So in some cases, over 100 miles, in other areas, 80 miles into the United States, the police are openly saying, Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. Sheriff's deputies have been shot. Sheriff's deputies have been killed. U.S. military have been killed. U.S. military have been wounded. FBI agents have been killed. Ranchers in Arizona have been murdered. Their homes have been burned down. In one case, more than 14 homes were burned in one night last year. It is all-out mass murder. It is the plan of San Diego being carried out, the La Reconquista, the Infosora, the invasion. And it has actually intensified since the announcement that Arizona is in a Mayday situation and is going to start, if they pull someone over and they don't have IDs, just like they would throw the book at a citizen, they will throw the book at the illegal aliens. It's a mirror of the federal law. But the feds will not implement it. It's come out even in the Associated Press that they used illegal aliens to build 20-something and then 50-something miles of fake fence as part of a PR stunt under Bush, and used illegal aliens to do that. All the border states are on the verge of going bankrupt or have gone bankrupt because of the jails in L.A. One case example, more than half illegal alien. Mexico is dumping its criminals on the United States. Mexico's criminals are running to the United States. Yes, a lot of these people do just want to work here in the country. But the bottom line is Mexico has collapsed. It's been a failed state, even according to the State Department, for 2 years. There have been travel advisories for 5 years. Now those travel advisories are all over South Texas, all over Arizona, southern Arizona, up into the middle of Arizona, all over New Mexico, all over the border area in California. And it's getting worse. And these people have no IDs, no names. They can blend into crowds. The murder that's going on is incredible. Remember the railway killer who'd been in jail more than 10 times and had killed and robbed and stabbed and shot and just rode around on trains enjoying himself? So the American people, everything we do is listened to by the NSA. Everything we do is tracked. The book is thrown at us for non-crimes. Our children are spied on. They're trained to spy on us. Our land's being taken. If you're black, white, Hispanic, Asian, doesn't matter. If you're a citizen in the grid, you were there to be bled by the vampires. But the globalist vampires want desperately to break this country. They're involved in a revolution against the country. They've got to break it and bankrupt it to the central banks and have a voting bloc that will vote for gun control and open borders and for pure democracy, where 51% say take the middle class's property and give it to us, the poor people. But, of course, it's always baited and switched and given to the elites. Once the middle class is destroyed, the poor and working class and blue collar have no strategy or no ladder to go up into the middle class. See, we had a growing middle class until 30 years ago. Since then, it's been shrinking. We had a middle class, the envy of the world. So did Argentina. 100 years ago, it was the wealthiest country in the Western Hemisphere. The saying was, as rich as an Argentine. Now they are absolutely in bondage after controlled implosion after controlled implosion over and over and over again. We are in the process of being completely broken. And there's an amazing video that's posted in an article by Kurt Nimmo, Large Areas of Arizona, Now Part of Mexico Narco State. And in this article, he has the 3 videos, one a local newscast out of Pinal County with the sheriff in Arizona, another from Fox, and another at a town hall with Senator Kyle admitting what we've already known, what the Ford Foundation has admitted in their own papers. They are holding America hostage. They do not want to secure the border. They want a border war. They want burning buildings. They want dead cops everywhere. They want absolute implosion. And ladies and gentlemen, beautiful towns on the Texas border that were great tourist locations are boarded up and shut down. Okay? It is now creeping all the way up to southern San Antonio. The police have been taught to put their tail between their legs and literally have yellow you-know-what run down them. And they just scream Mayday to the feds, and the feds say, we will do nothing. The feds openly, we told you this 5 years ago with our DEA sources, trained Los Zetas. They're CIA. They're down there waging a war against other cartels that don't launder their money through U.S. central banks. This is a $500 million a year industry. And this is meant to bring the United States into total collapse on the southwest border. Then the feds can come in and say, oh, we've got to have immigration reform, we're going to fix it. And then when you read the last four versions, Obama's version and Bush's last three versions, it's the exact same Council on Foreign Relations plan written in 2006 and published on their site. Yes, it ends illegal immigration because it forms the North American corridor between Canada, the U.S., and Mexico, and a common border, a geographic border. And you notice for 2 years they're issuing hemispheric ID cards. Instead of a passport, you get a federally issued ID card, which is accepted to fly. It's now being accepted for truck drivers to drive, and you can travel back and forth into the countries. And so it does end the illegal immigration problem because it just legalizes. And the senator said he was in a meeting with Obama, and Obama told him point blank, I am holding people hostage. We are going to let this get out of control. In fact, we're going to get to that clip in a moment. Let's play U.S. gives parkland along the Arizona-Mexican border to Mexico. This is Fox News. And this is a La Reconquista. Possession is 9/10 of the law. And they burned out the ranchers. They're burning everybody out. And it's now moved past Tucson. Tucson is now an island. The Tucson Traitorous City Council has ordered police not to ever even stop drunk driving illegals robbing people. I've watched hour after hour wrapped on YouTube of Tucson city council meetings, and the people go and beg and talk about crowds of illegals attacking them. And then the YouTube videos have links to it, and how the illegals running around with Mexican flags understand that they have been given a green light to go absolutely wild, so the feds can come in and say their solution is totally dissolving the border and turning the U.S. into a third world country, and then bum rushing, bringing in the communist hordes that Hugo Chavez for the CIA is training well, and to totally bring this country down for the bankers. This is the plan, and it's not a joke. Let's go ahead and play this first clip.
A massive stretch of Arizona now off limits to Americans. Critics say the administration is, in effect, giving a major strip of the Southwest back to Mexico. U.S. Fish and Wildlife have closed a portion of the Buenos Aires National Wildlife Refuge all along the border, warning visitors to beware of heavily armed drug smugglers and human traffickers. Paul Babu is the sheriff in Pinal County, Arizona. He joins us now by phone. Sheriff, this is a family show, so I'm going to put it like this. What the heck is going on down there?
It's literally out of control, and violence has increased just in the last 4 months. And we've been, not just as a sheriff, all of our police chiefs in Pinal County, we stood with Senator McCain and literally demanded support for 3,000 soldiers to be deployed to Arizona to get this under control and finally secure our border with Mexico.
All right, I got to tell you, when I first received an email about this with these signs that are up saying, you know, don't go past this point, stay away, this is not safe. I mean, we're not talking about something that's sort of a Tijuana situation right at the border. I mean, we're talking about something that's north of Tucson. I mean, 80 miles away from the border?
Exactly. And we're talking 3 counties deep into the heart of Arizona, where the answer from our government is to put up signs warning our citizens in our sovereign nation that beware of foreigners who are there who are heavily armed. We have squad-sized paramilitary elements that are working deep in our country that are escorting drugs and human illegals. And quite frankly, I'm telling you as a sheriff that I don't control that part of the county. My county is larger than the state of Connecticut. And we need support from the federal government. It's their job to secure the border, and they haven't done it. In fact, President Obama suspended the construction of the fence, and it's just simply outrageous.
Would you like to see some of the president's outrage about the oil spill, which is justified, and some of the butt-kicking that he's talked about doing applied there on the border as well?
Well, even with that, you say one thing and then you're out at a fundraiser in California and you don't go to the funeral of the people who died in the explosion. You know, it's one thing to say something slick on television or in a 10-second soundbite, but we need deeds, we need action, and it's shameful that we, as the most powerful nation on earth, can win wars and liberate countries throughout our history, yet we can't even secure our own border and protect our own families. And this is why crime in Arizona literally is among and has been in the highest in the nation, and we need help.
Sheriff, we are so sympathetic to what you're doing down there. We thank you for the incredible hard work, and our thoughts are with you. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Shannon.
Really, Fox, you've been so sympathetic, telling us that George Bush is good and having Karl Rove on, who supported wide open borders and funding this drug war down there?